I want to talk to you about sexism. Sexism is prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination on the basis of sex. It can affect anyone, but it mainly affects women and girls. It can be an act, a word, a joke, a gesture, an image, and it is damaging because it makes people feel worthless. It can also make people change their behavior in order to fit whatever stereotype, but most importantly, sexism lies at the root of gender inequality. Sexism exists literally everywhere, in movies, in the media, social media, ads, in fashion, the workplace, in the language we use, in the arts, politics, education, and so much more. It is like a form of brainwashing that surrounds us from childhood, with boys being encouraged to be brave, adventurous, and active, while girls are encouraged to behave like ladies, be pleasant and pleasing. It relies on the notion that women and men are opposites, with very, very different qualities and roles to play in society.
Women must earn less than men because they are weaker, they are smaller, they are less intelligent, and they must earn less.
So that was basically sexism in a nutshell. Now, you may have also heard the terms casual sexism and wonder what that is. Well, casual sexism is basically sexism. The only thing casual about it is that it is so well blended in our everyday lives that we don't even see it.
A wash, sew, sweep, and cook.
Most of us know that a picture of a half-naked woman bent over a car with someone spanking her on her butt is a sexist image, right? But casual sexism is when it's seemingly harmless because, well, it's been normalized. Examples include making comments like "you throw like a girl" or "grow a pair," or just making it sound like girl stuff is kind of rubbish.
What do you expect from a girl's toy?
I'm not a girl's toy!
Using terms like mankind, man-made, the common man, manning a place, calling women good girl, sweetie, baby.
Calm down, dear, calm down.
Or referring to an assertive woman as a bitch.
Such a nasty woman.
While men with the same characteristics are referred to as leaders. Describing girls as tomboys. Seeing a woman who focuses on her career is selfish, while a man in the same position is just called driven. Asking a woman how she juggles work and family life, while never asking men the same question. Being asked about being unmarried or childless.
What are you looking for in a man now?
Focusing on a woman's body and her looks instead of her achievements.
Were you able to wear undergarments?
Asking the only woman in the room to take notes in a meeting or make coffee. Asking a woman where her kids are or if her husband is babysitting them.
Dads, alone with their babies, while we gave moms some well-deserved time off.
Assuming a man makes more money than his wife. In movies, how women are always nurses while men are the doctors.
Nurse, not a doctor, huh? Kinda girly, isn't it?
Women wearing high heels even when being chased by dinosaurs. Or how female superheroes always have great hair and very big cleavages. Every time a woman enters the screen in slow motion. Every time male characters have more screen time in movies, better roles, more lines, better lines, higher salaries, even as cartoons. Jokes about women being bad drivers, bad at DIY, bad at comedy. Speaking about professionals such as engineers or scientists using the pronoun he as default. Telling a woman she would look so much prettier if she only smiled.
I was waiting for you to smile at some of the compliments. You didn't.
Referring to grown-ass women as girls while men are men, not boys. Every time the words clever girl were muttered on screen.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Women doing more of the household work and childcare, even in families where both partners work full-time and earn the same salary. Calling a woman emotional. Telling a woman she should lighten up when she demands to be treated with respect. Telling women they can't take a joke when the joke is not funny. Having to choose between Miss or Mrs. on official forms, whereas men only have one option, Mr. Asking women if it's that time of the month. Catcalling on the street, and every time a man mansplains anything. Whoo! The list goes on. And I bet you have your own examples. Feel free to add them in the comments. But the point is, these are everyday things that happen all the time. Have you ever wondered why our society is so sexist in the first place? Sexism's main function is to maintain patriarchy. Patriarchy is a system or society in which men hold the power. Sexist ideology helps maintain patriarchy by oppressing women and girls on the basis of sex or gender. Sadly, there's still enough people who deny there is any gender inequality, who play down sexism as a bit of banter, who ignore the fact that many rights, like the right to vote, but also the right to work, to wear trousers, to drive a car, etc., that women did not have automatically like men, were not given to us by those in power. They either happened because there was a necessity, like during wars, or we had to fight for them. We cannot ignore history when we talk about gender inequality, because it says a lot about the system we are operating in today, which is still very much patriarchal, with many more hurdles to overcome on our way to full equality. Sexism is a tool that slows that process down, which is why it is so important to identify it and call it out whenever we see it, no matter how small or seemingly harmless it may look. Because the extreme form of sexist ideology is misogyny, which is hatred for women. And in a society where misogyny plays a big role, you will find a high rate of domestic violence, rape, victim blaming, and objectification of women's bodies, a lot of which we are seeing already today, and not just in some corners of the world, but everywhere, even in our own backyards. One of the ways to achieve gender equality is by changing sexist culture. There is such a strong connection between the two things. And the good news is that there are things that we can do to change it, starting by making small but very significant changes, like changing the language that we use every day. We can check ourselves in how we raise our kids. What words do we use to describe them? What expectations do we have from them that are based on their sex? We can be way more selective in what we allow our children to watch on TV, because I'll tell you something, sadly, sexism can be found even in cartoons. We can explain to them what sexism is so that they can identify it and call it out themselves. We can become more aware and make other people more aware of gender stereotypes. And as women, we can be more vocal about sexism, call it out whenever we see it.
It is totally unacceptable in 2017 to say that women should have to answer that question in the workplace.
Because I'm a female, you are judgmental.
The entertainment business is still very sexist.
I'm not looking for a man. Let's start there.
I was offended when the leader of the opposition went outside in the front of Parliament and stood next to a sign that said, "Ditch the witch."
Smiling doesn't win you gold medals.
Since when did people start asking each other about in interviews about their underwear?
C'est un scandale. Ce bonhomme, c'est un scandale.
You can ask for the men that today.
As for a work-life balance, no one had ever asked them about it.
Wow, how disappointing was that question?
This is not a house where men come in ताकि किसी औरत की आंखों में झांका जाए.
Peut-être ce matin la palme du misogyne beauf de cette assemblée.
Aquí vengo a defender a las mujeres europeas de hombres como usted.
It's our time to have wage equality once and for all, and equal rights for women in the United States of America.
And find male allies who are willing to make the same efforts.
How would you describe male player? Beg your pardon? Male player.
We should be prepared for the fact that getting rid of sexist beliefs and habits is not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. We have all been brainwashed to believe these stereotypes, and it is going to take time to dismantle all of that, but it is so worth doing it, starting right now.